What if I told you that one of the most diverse, chaotic, and underestimated food cities in America has been quietly reshaping global culinary history for over a century? Not New York, not Los Angeles, and not New Orleans, though New Orleans is definitely going to come up. We are diving into Houston, Texas, a sprawling, humid metropolis built on oil money, geographic crossroads, and immigrant hustle. Almost none of its greatest food breakthroughs look like they were supposed to happen on paper. From a widowed mother rescuing a failing tortilla factory to a Vietnamese refugee creating an entire culinary genre out of thin air, this city turns survival into absolute flavor dominance. Welcome to the Savory Scroll. Let's get straight to the schematics. 1. Tacos al carbon, the fajita matrix, 1973. We start exactly where we have to start, the foundational blueprint of modern Tex-Mex. In 1973, Ninfa Rodriguez Lorenzo was a widow managing 5 children and a commercial tortilla factory that was hemorrhaging cash on Navigation Boulevard in Houston's industrial East End, after being flatly rejected by every local bank for a small business loan. She mortgaged her family home, borrowed emergency capital from a close friend in Mexico City, and crammed 10 wooden tables and 40 chairs into the front section of her factory floor. The initial menu was brilliantly simple: char-grilled skirt steak, historically one of the toughest, cheapest, and most discarded cuts of the animal, sliced thin and wrapped inside handmade flour tortillas hot off the assembly line. She labeled them tacos al carbon. On day 1, she sold 250 orders. While vaqueros along the border had been grilling skirt steak over open fires for generations, Mama Ninfa fundamentally converted a rustic field food into a structured restaurant phenomenon, laying the operational groundwork for what the world now celebrates as the fajita. 2. The sizzling fajita platter. Presentation as theater. While Mama Ninfa engineered the taste of the modern fajita, its visual and auditory delivery system was a separate Houston stroke of genius. Ninfa's son, Jack, was working as a waiter during those chaotic early days on Navigation Boulevard. As the tacos al carbon orders began to systematically overwhelm the kitchen, Jack designed a highly theatrical optimization strategy. Instead of wrapping the meats prior to service, he arranged the char-grilled steak directly over a bed of raw onions on a screaming hot cast iron skillet, forcing it to violently sizzle and pop the exact moment it entered the dining room. This auditory cue acted as a physical advertisement, turning every single delivery into a sensory spectacle that forced every head in the restaurant to turn. Jack invented the moment within the food invention. Every time a server anywhere on Earth warns you that a platter is hot, they are paying direct homage to Houston's theater mechanics. 3. Viet-Cajun crawfish. The refugee fusion. This breakthrough did not emerge from a single kitchen. It emerged from the collective ingenuity of a displaced community. Following the fall of Saigon in 1975, tens of thousands of Vietnamese refugees arrived in the United States, with a massive percentage settling along the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana due to the familiar humid climate and the immediate availability of maritime labor. Settling into Houston's Midtown and Chinatown districts, these newly arrived Southerners discovered the traditional Cajun crawfish boil. While they embraced the ritual of boiling mudbugs in heavily seasoned cayenne and garlic water, they completely overhauled the finishing process. Instead of serving the shellfish dry out of the seasoned water, Houston's Vietnamese cooks tossed the hot crawfish into a luxurious, melted butter emulsion heavily infused with fresh lemongrass, garlic, ginger, and scallions. This created a deeply aromatic, layered, and glossy sauce that completely revolutionized the industry. Today, Viet-Cajun crawfish is a James Beard-recognized genre of American cuisine, and its operational blueprint reverse migrated from Houston straight into the heart of Louisiana. 4. The Houston-style po' boy, 1962. You are likely deeply familiar with the classic New Orleans po' boy, but the Houston subgenre is an entirely different mechanical entity. In 1962, Jalal Antone, the Louisiana-born son of Syrian and Lebanese immigrants, opened Antone's Import Company on Taft Street in Houston's 4th Ward. He initially intended to sell traditional Middle Eastern staples like falafel, hummus, and baba ganoush, but local advisors warned him that 1960s Houstonians were not yet ready for those flavor profiles. Antone pivoted by taking the traditional New Orleans sandwich blueprint and filtering it through a unique immigrant lens. He layered ham, salami, and provolone cheese inside soft French bread, but finished it with a signature cold, tangy, bright orange red pickled relish known as chow chow, composed of chopped cabbage, vinegar, sweet peppers, turmeric, and secret spices. Slathered in mayonnaise and served chilled, this sandwich became woven directly into the city's civic identity, acting as the ultimate crossover hit. 5. Climate-engineered glazed donuts, 1936. During the tail end of the Great Depression in 1936, Lawrence Shipley Sr. established a modest wholesale bakery at 1417 Crockett Street in Houston, cutting glazed donuts by hand and retailing them for 5 cents a dozen. The massive obstacle confronting any baker in Southeast Texas is the brutal, oppressive ambient humidity, which rapidly liquefies standard sugar glazes, turning a pristine pastry into a sticky, unmarketable mess. Shipley systematically engineered a proprietary dough and glaze chemistry specifically designed to withstand extreme atmospheric moisture. The glaze bonded perfectly, maintaining its structural integrity while serving the product hot. This climate-defying formulation launched an absolute cult following. Driven retail by Lawrence's wife, Lily, Shipley Donuts expanded into a massive southern footprint spanning over 350 locations, proving that success in the food industry requires mastering the local atmosphere. 6. Sweetened condensed milk, 1853. This historical milestone is slightly older than the modern layout of Houston itself. Gail Borden Jr. arrived in Texas in 1829, acting as a primary surveyor who physically drew the street grids for both Galveston and Houston. Driven by a fierce obsession with solving human survival challenges, Borden spent 2 decades researching methods to preserve highly perishable food items. In 1853, operating directly out of his bases in Galveston and Houston, he successfully cracked the code for sweetened condensed milk. By evaporating fresh dairy under a pressurized vacuum and adding precise ratios of sugar to eliminate water content, he engineered a milk product that could be sealed in a tin can and stored indefinitely without refrigeration. The Union Army rapidly adopted Borden's cans during the American Civil War, changing global food logistics forever and cementing a pantry staple now utilized in desserts across every continent. 7. Commercial cookies and cream ice cream, 1980. Bluebell Creameries was originally founded in 1907 as a tiny dairy cooperative in Brenham, Texas, located roughly 90 miles outside the Houston Metroplex. For nearly 3/4 of a century, it remained a beloved but strictly local operation. That changed forever in 1980, when a Bluebell corporate employee sampled a crude, hyper-local flavor experiment at a boutique ice cream parlor inside the Houston city limits. Crushed Nabisco Oreo cookies folded directly into a premium vanilla base. Recognizing the immense market potential of the texture combination, Bluebell management immediately contacted Nabisco, legally negotiated the commercial rights to utilize the official Oreo name, and became the first dairy processor in history to mass-produce cookies and cream ice cream at an industrial scale. The flavor exploded nationwide, moving from a localized Houston novelty into the top tier of global ice cream consumption. 8. The Tex-Mex breakfast taco supply chain. While the exact historical origin of wrapping scrambled eggs in a tortilla belongs to the broader borderlands, the transformation of the breakfast taco into an inescapable, hyper-efficient morning cultural institution occurred directly within Houston's dense network of taquerias. Before Houston's taqueria boom, Tex-Mex dining was strictly defined by rigid combination plates buried under heavy brown chili gravy. The explosion of operations like Ninfa's forced a systemic market shift toward fresh flour tortillas, vibrant salsas, and rapid assembly handheld formats. Houston built a massive wholesale tortilla factory infrastructure that operates 24 hours a day. This industrial supply chain allowed thousands of independent corner stores, gas stations, and commuter drive-thrus to scale the morning breakfast taco, delivering exceptional quality, low costs, and unparalleled speed to millions of drivers at 600 am every single day. 9. The Texas-style klobasnik, the meat coach. During the mid-19th century, a massive wave of Czech immigrants arrived in central and southeast Texas, introducing a traditional, delicate pastry known as the kolache, a soft, yeast-risen sweet dough featuring an open center filled with stewed fruits or poppy seeds. Once that pastry entered the culinary matrix of Houston, local bakers executed a radical, savory redesign. They took the enriched, slightly sweet Czech dough and wrapped it entirely around a savory, smoked sausage link, often adding pickled jalapenos and cheddar cheese. While traditionalists accurately note that this meat-filled variation is technically called a klobasnik, Houston completely bypassed the linguistic boundary. When chains like Shipley Do Nuts added these savory meat rolls to their morning drive-through menus, they permanently transformed a rare Czech festival dessert into a definitive, high-volume Texas breakfast staple. 10. The ninfarita. The premium craft margarita long before modern mixology bars began boasting about fresh juices and artisanal spirits. The standard restaurant margarita across America was a highly artificial, neon green liquid dispensed from a frozen commercial slush machine, packed with cheap sugars and low-grade alcohol. When Ninfa Lorenzo opened her restaurant on Navigation Boulevard in 1973, she applied the exact same uncompromising focus on freshness to her bar program. She engineered the ninfarita, a precise, crisp cocktail built entirely around fresh squeezed lime juice, top-tier tequila, and a hand-salted rim that tasted cleanly of mineral salt rather than processed chemical dust. The ninfarita became a massive cultural draw, forcing downtown executives to commute across the city purely for a cocktail. It systematically forced the entire Tex-Mex restaurant industry to elevate its beverage standards, proving that premium craft execution could outcompete cheap mass manufacturing. 11. Houston green sauce, the avocado cream standard. To close out this operational audit, we must look at the unique condiment that accompanies nearly every Tex-Mex table across the Houston metroplex, yet remains completely alien to restaurants in Dallas, Austin, or San Antonio: Houston green sauce. This legendary green condiment was originally formulated in the kitchens of Ninfa's to accompany her original tacos al carbon. Unlike traditional Mexican salsas verde, which rely strictly on the acidic snap of boiled tomatillos and green chilies, Houston green sauce introduces a high-fat cream element. It blends fresh avocados, boiled tomatillos, garlic, and serrano chilies with a heavy base of sour cream or Mexican crema. The resulting emulsion is incredibly rich, velvety, and perfectly calibrated to cut through the heavy smoke of char-grilled beef. It has been thoroughly copied by nearly every independent taqueria across the city, acting as a delicious green signature of Houston's culinary sovereignty. When you look across the blueprint of these 11 distinct foods, you realize that Houston is not a city that wastes time announcing itself to food critics. It doesn't possess the historical romance of New Orleans or the polished media glamour of New York. It thrives in the extreme heat and humidity. It works, it welcomes the world, and it builds incredible culinary institutions out of sheer determination. Drop a comment below letting us know which of these 11 Houston food breakthroughs surprised you the most. If you want to continue tracing the historical blueprints and hidden mechanics behind how the world eats, hit that like button, subscribe to the Savory Scroll, and we will see you in the next investigation.